Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello, and welcome to something that's probably about as different for this channel as it could possibly be. This is Blue Plays the Stanley Parable, and if you're wondering what in the world is this guy who sometimes occasionally makes content about Souls-likes and Metroidvanias, what is he doing playing a game about working in an office? Well, if you haven't heard, my good friend Stone and I have a weekly podcast called Forgot to Save, where we go back and we visit games that for some reason or another we never got around to playing, and the Stanley Parable is the most recent one. So this goes right alongside the discussion we're having about this game, which is actually already live on the channel, link in the description, and I wanted to be able to show off some gameplay. I don't know if we'll actually beat the game in one sitting, kind of depends on how I'm feeling about it. I know it's rather short, you can beat it in an hour or two and actually see multiple endings. But I don't know much about the game, other than you work in an office and weird things happen, and sometimes you're Stanley, sometimes you're not, and you have to make choices, and yeah, at any rate, take a quick look at the options. Not too much going on here. Actually, I don't even know. Might actually be something I have to play with mouse and keyboard to get the best effect. Not something I typically do on the channel. Audio should be fine. My speaker configurations, I don't know if I should just do headphones. I guess I will. You can actually change the quality, which is fascinating. Closed captioning. Subtitle. Let's do subtitles on so you can see, just in case. What's really odd is that changing this to headphones got rid of all the speaking. Hopefully that's just for now. For video, I do have this set to 4K. Not a whole lot of options here. You can see what I have available. Field of vision. I'm not really good at figuring out field of vision. I'm going to leave it at default. Keyboard and mouse. Reverse mouse. Oh, gosh. No, absolutely not. I already enabled the achievement to get an achievement. I don't think I can get it. Oh, look at that. This is an achievement. I guess I want to leave them on. And I also enabled saves. I don't really know why, but that's about it. That's about all there is to the Stanley Parable. So let's dive right in. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Oh boy. Click
This is the
to
story
skip.
of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I'm not doing that with the mouse. So I'm not really sure why it is doing that. It might be because I have a controller enabled. I think we're back in business. I think that was my fault. I had something with the Steam settings and the controller, but now I'm back with mouse and keyboard and everything looks okay. I haven't played with mouse and keyboard in so long. All right, so what can we do? When I can interact with something, will it be very noticeable? I don't love the movement. One single tap of the key brings me a lot further than I'm like, okay, maybe I can go back and just start interacting with E. Was that me typing on the keyboard? No. There's a slight sound as if I'm trying to interact. Right, so I don't know if there's normally people here, but office is empty. Can I read what that says? It says installation. Everything's locked. There's no one here.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Or it's because we've played games before, narrator. Played Resident Evil. We know eventually one of them's gonna open. What? Sales in this quarter, projections. This does not make sense. Oh, they're not happy. The bosses are not thrilled. What clues from the environment other than people are missing? Username. Uh-oh. I don't know that I should have done that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should turn off everyone's computer. No one's here. Let's save some electricity, yeah? I bet deep down that's what this game is all about. Can't interact with the copier. Good. Can I jump? There's no jump. I'm just gonna go back to my office. I'm gonna go to work. I like that mine is powered on, but I can't actually do anything. All right, what am I already missing? Is there some yellow paint that I'm missing? If you've missed that debate, then good for you. The whole big gaming debate going on right now about the use of yellow paint in games to point out things that you need to do, places you need to go. All right. Now would be a really good time. I thought you were funneling me somewhere there, narrator. I don't know why there's numbers up there. What should I be doing? I hate Mondays. Well, today's Wednesday, so we're okay there. Not off to a great start? Can I turn computers? I can't turn computers back on. Very, very bright windows. Do I need to find my door? Because I'm 427, right? Oh, that was my door. I was in my office. And I can't even get back in. What? Partition Core. That's great. Company just to make the partitions. Okay. So some people get offices like me and these other folks, but that's 425, didn't I? No, that's door 425. So not everyone gets an office. What? How the mighty have fallen. Sure. I can crouch. Will that help me? Knowing your city. Before you can possibly know where to begin your new street vending operation, you first have to get to know your city. The game sure seemed to want me to go this way. But now nothing. I don't want to look up a guide for the first 10 minutes of the Stanley Parable, yet here I am. I might have to look up a clue. Is there something with the filing cabinets I can do? Like, nothing stands out. Nothing stands out at all. All right, I guess, let me at least get an idea of what I should be doing right now. So, apparently, this right here, and by this, I mean this door at the end of this hallway where it was funneling me, isn't supposed to be a tiny little cupboard. I'm supposed to be able to go this way or this way, and this is a well-known bug. Apparently, I have to restart the game. So let's see if I can skip through some of this. All right, good. I'm gonna ignore.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right. Let's look and see. Yeah, see, this wasn't here. What a weird bug, and so quickly.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ooh, am I gonna listen? For now, I am. Figures.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Cabal. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Rip Franz. Oh, poor Franz. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. That's great. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Oh, I'm sure there's so many little things to actually pay attention
Stanley
to.
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Hold on. Is that true?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
I don't know. Not so sure I trust this guy.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, for now I'm gonna listen. I don't know if I'll continue listening to the narrator the whole time. Can't go into the executive bathroom. Look at how much different it is up here, though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, okay. I see it. I can only assume.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Why did my boss have this hiding behind?
Walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't know that I do. Okay, I do. No. Escape. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That's not true, right? Does this hallway just never end?
Shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
No, I don't think so. Oh. Okay, not dead. Yet.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and
Oh,
closer
no.
to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
No, I don't. Can I duck below it?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh, wait a minute.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
A selection of the sounds used throughout the game. What? Is this really the end? Like, I just saw my first ending to Stanley Parable? Because it kind of seems that way. But question, am I supposed to... Narration outtakes. He recorded, so Kevin Brighton, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years. These are clips from from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Then he pushed the number 4.
There's actually outtakes. Fantastic. Now, question though, do I have to just begin the game again? Or is there a way to do that from in here? Freedom ending. Monitor room elevator. Stanley, okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Okay, I listened. But now I gotta go back in. What was that about? What is this game? Okay. I assume I just got my first ending.
Stanley decided
So let's do everything
perhaps he had simply missed a
differently. I'm not gonna go left.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I think I would.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I don't think I did.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion, will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This
Her
is it,
who?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
That was mean.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. the mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. I won't. I'm going to stare at the clock. Okay, come on. Something's going to happen. How long do I have to wait? Oh, why is this so uncomfortable? Come on, something. Anything. Uh... Come on, I don't... There's got to be... There's got to be something, but I don't want to sit here forever. All right. Well, I'm giving in.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh, no. Let me wake up.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What is going on? We're back, but things are different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm turning off all the computers. Wait, what? Oh. I didn't turn you off. I gave you input.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't know whether or not I'm enjoying this
There was
game.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hey, I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna go do the code.
Stanley walked
What if I put in the
upstairs
code
to his
before
boss's
the
office.
voice tells me? And I guess I'll go to the mind control office?
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
It's gonna take a little time.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Did I get the dark, depressing ending first? Are they all dark and depressing? It really definitely brings up the whole question of what is a game and what are the purposes of games. And I'm sure to that there are many, many answers. I don't know that this game has a lot of purpose for me personally.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
If anyone needs a good show to watch that this game is just screaming at me to rewatch, is Severance on Apple TV.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
There's my office right there.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So we did lights, cameras. Is this action?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I don't know.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I will? Mind controls idle awaiting. Oh, I've already input something. System power. Well, let's turn it off. Simple as that. Take that, you mind control nerds.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. Complete the Stanley Parable. All right, I got an achievement for that, and I'm back, and I understand. But wait, hold on. This is different though. Wait, what? Did I just break it? Did it just bug out on me again? Oh, I think it did. Alright, I think I got one more run of me. Let's begin again. That was strange.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, where do we want to go? Do we want to go
Stanley
right?
came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Okay,
left.
this time we will go in the left open door.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I don't want to go back down to the garage. Okay, and if I go that way, no, that's just gonna bring me up to my boss's office. All right, never mind. Down it is. Please not the garage. Please not the garage. Truly some of the most unsettling.
Go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Is it?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
I've got time.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
But I'm still nearing the garage. Oh, wait. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
And it just starts again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So the whole game is just about...
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Well, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, it just keeps... It's just gonna loop. Oh, no. I thought I chose the garage. What if I just keep taking lefts? Right, just track the left wall. It's like a maze. Track the left wall.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
And we restart again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, it's different again. No doors.
Yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Turn them off.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Whoa, what?
Now well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Oh, okay.
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay, we're gonna see this one more time. Oh, it's the yellow paint I talked about.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I can do that. This is a very new path, though.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Okay. No, It's not. That's horrible.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely.
I don't believe them.
Remember it carefully.
I don't think this is true.
You won't want to miss anything.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Right. I don't have... I have to sit and process this. So if you want to hear hopefully some more complete thoughts of mine and from my friend Stone, listen to the podcast. I guess link in the description. I think I'm not having fun. And for me, that's one of the primary purposes of playing a game, is to enjoy myself, to have fun. There are times when I can at least somewhat forgo the enjoyment for a challenge or for some sort of rather difficult achievement. This, however, is just kind of sad and melancholic and foreboding, and probably makes me question a bit too much about, a lot of things. And I just don't think I'm right now having a good time. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and say, this is it. I'm done. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to still play a little bit more, but not on camera, because I just want to sit with my jaw just kind of wide open and one eyebrow raised, as if to say, what is going on? And maybe that's what the Stanley Parable is all about. That's going to do it for this episode of Blue Tries, I guess. The Stanley Parable, all thanks to the Forgot to Save podcast. You should check it out. Link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.